This product's entire purpose is to dry your motorcycle after washing it. It's called the Hog Blaster, which was ironically also my nickname in high school. To me, it's just a $70 hairdryer, but these reviews say otherwise. This is an incredible tool I didn't know I needed. I just dried my entire bike in less than 5 minutes. Dried my motorcycle in record time. These are some impressive claims, but are they actually true?
To find out, I'm putting it to the test along with a bunch of other ridiculous motorcycle products, like this train horn that is supposed to be 600% louder than a regular horn, a paste that makes your exhaust shoot colored flames, and an electric plate flipper that can hide your license plate with the click of a button. Starting with the Hog Blaster.
A few years ago, Harley-Davidson came out with the product called the Hog Blaster, and after getting absolutely thrashed on the internet for a few years, they pulled it off the shelves, and I couldn't get my hands on the actual version, so I had to buy the next best thing, which is basically just an Amazon dupe of it, but let's see how well it works. Typically, when a simple product comes with a Harry Potter book of instructions, it's normally not a good sign, but this one has about 3 pages in English and then every other language that you could imagine, and the instructions are pretty simple. You basically just press the on button and blast that hog.
Luckily for me, it's about time to wash my Honda Grom, so let's see if this thing actually works.
For comparison reasons, I'm gonna dry this bike twice, once with the electric Hog Blaster, and the other one with my $10 absorber rag from AutoZone. Let's see which one wins. How do you... Ooh, you gotta hold it down. I will say that has some power.
I was surprised by how effective this thing was. I'm not sure if it would be faster than a rag, but in just under 2 minutes, my bike was completely dry.
Okay, there we go. It's pretty much dry. I will say it is pretty fun to use. This thing has a lot more power than I thought it would. All right, let's try out the rag and see if the old-fashioned way is better. I'm just gonna wet the bike down and do the same side like we did with the blaster. And let's start.
Although it wasn't as fun as the Hog Blaster, I definitely felt like the rag was a bit quicker. And it was, by about 30 seconds. The Hog Blaster, definitely a scam. The plate flipper, ridiculous claim, hide your plate with the press of a button.
If this next product actually works, I'm going to be very impressed. Not just because it's extremely illegal, but also because how does this thing even work? Let's see what we get inside the box. Instruction manual, bunch of wires, a plate, and a Rockstar Games patch. Okay. Now, according to the instructions, you have to access the battery so you can wire the actual plate to your battery, which is a weird thing to think about, but I guess it makes sense because it's like a motorized license plate mount that can flip down and flip up as you need. Very strange. Now, according to the instructions, the next thing that we have to do is take off the existing plate mount, which is just these 2 little screws. Slight change of plans, we're gonna have to install it on the Grom instead of the R7 because my plate mount back here doesn't have enough room for the plate to fold, so let's put it on the Grom. The plate is now on there and it does work, but we just have to hook it up to the battery. Let's deal with this massive wire.
Before I make this permanent, I wanted to check to see if it works, so I just touched the wires to each battery terminal to see what would happen.
Okay, let's see if this... Oh, it works. Okay, so if I have it wired correctly, it should move whenever I press this button. Let's see. I mean, do with this information as you wish, but this is sick. You can do this all day long. This is not legal at all. I don't recommend it, but it's cool. Let's try the next one.
The plate flipper, I'd say it's worth it. Handlebar cup holder, ridiculous claim, carry your drink while riding, I guess?
This is a backpack, and in terms of motorcycles, it does everything that this next product is supposed to do. It holds your drink. Now, I don't see why you would need an actual cup holder strapped to your motorcycle, but the cruiser community would probably disagree with that. But that doesn't really mean much because they kind of disagree with everything. Like the term brotherhood. To us, a tight friendship. To them, a tight friendship. Anyways, let's go see what's in this box. Inside the box, there's really just 2 things. The actual cup holder itself, and then the way it mounts to the bike, which is just a handlebar clip.
In order to test this, we need something to use it with. So I grabbed a Red Bull and hit the road.
You know, I'll admit it, there is something pretty freeing about having a beverage at your disposal. You know, maybe I have more in common with these cruiser guys than I thought. I still don't quite understand the whole kissing dudes thing, but I'm sure that comes with practice. But this thing's pretty cool. But you can put whatever you want in here and it's not going anywhere either. I just gotta see if I can actually use it. Let's see if I can get it out of here. Are you supposed to use these while you're riding? That part I don't know. Let me crack this sucker open. Oh yeah. Oh shoot. But can you actually drink from it? Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, I can't get it back now. Hold up. Yeah, see, from a practicality standpoint, I don't think this is worth it. And I can't get it back in now. You gotta get some speed and then like two-hand it. Boom. That's not optimal.
Handlebar cup holder. Definitely worth it. sometimes. The helmet wiper. Product claim, enhanced visibility in the rain.
I'm actually super excited for this next product because if it actually does work, it's going to be a life changer. It's supposed to be a little windshield wiper for your visor, and I've seen a bunch of people rocking these on TikTok and stuff, but I've never actually seen one in real life, so that should probably tell me all I need to know, but still, my hopes are pretty high. Look, it's just a little windshield wiper. That's so fun. Okay, how do I install this thing? I think it just sticks to the front of the helmet. This is so stupid. Windshield wiper install. I see why people don't use these. What in the world? That looks awful. Okay, I've got my trusty spray bottle here and we're gonna simulate some rainfall. So let's turn my windshield wipers on. Okay, so that's not working. No, wipe over here. This thing is useless. What are we doing? Stop. Stop. We good? Okay. All right. Whoa. Whoa. We good? It's supposed to just stick to the front, I think. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. This is so useless. Okay, I just reread the instructions and I'm pretty sure that I did everything correctly. The only difference is that in one of the installation methods, they mention an adhesive aid, but I did not get that, so I did what I could. But installation method 2 is, I'm pretty sure, the one that I did, so it's really hard to say. I wouldn't recommend this.
Helmet wiper, get that out of here, that is a scam. Comm unit, product claim, works just as good as a Cardo.
This little device is called a Cardo Talk Pro. It's basically a communication system for your motorcycle helmet, and it's really cool. Except for the fact that it costs almost $450. Now, motorcycles aside, I can speak from personal experience that sometimes the cheaper ones do it better. So today, we're going to try out the Y-Teryx Q4 motorcycle communication system and see if it's anywhere near comparable to the Cardo Talk Pro. Right off the bat, it looks pretty similar. It's like the exact same thing.
As I began installing the Comm unit, I couldn't help but notice that the install process was the exact same as the Cardo's was. In fact, everything was the same, even down to the amount of wires and even the length of the wires. I don't know how they got away with that, but here we are.
It's pretty much on now. That's what it looks like. For comparison, here's what the real Cardo unit looks like compared to the dupe one. That is scary close. Now the only thing left to do is see if we can pair it to the phone. The way you do that is by holding the phone button down for 5 seconds, which I think is this one. So let's see. Oh, there it is, right there, Q4.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
The most important thing to test here is the speakers. So I played a song and it was actually much better than I expected. Definitely not quite as good as the Cardo, but much closer than I would have expected. Comm unit. For the price, I'd say it's worth it. E-bike exhaust. Product claim gives your e-bike realistic exhaust noise.
There is just no way that this product could make me feel like I'm riding an actual motorcycle, when in reality, I'm really just riding an electric dirt bike. But that's what it claims to do. And at first, when I purchased it, I thought it would actually play exhaust sounds, like a speaker of sorts. That isn't the case at all. I think it literally just uses the spokes of your wheel to make exhaust sounds based on the different cards that you put into it. Now, if these cards make my bike sound like a ZX6R, I'm 100% on board, but I don't think that they will.
The inside of this box was about as exciting as the bedroom of a couple Harley riders on the night of their anniversary. Cheap and much smaller than expected.
It is a big piece of plastic that looks like it's been spray painted, and then the back end is just weirdly sealed off and crimped at the end.
Nonetheless, I tried my best to install it on my electric dirt bike, but I couldn't get it to work. The swing arm was much thicker than the included bracket, and the cards wouldn't even reach the spokes. But believe it or not, I think I'm okay without this on my bike. E-bike exhaust, definitely a scam, straight to the dumpster. Motorcycle train horn, ridiculous claim, 600% louder than a stock horn.
Before I say anything else, this horn is absolutely massive. I have no idea how we're gonna fit this to the bike, but we have to make it work somehow. If you've ever seen a regular motorcycle horn before, it looks nothing like this. These are like 2 miniature trumpets that just demand respect, and we gotta make it work. So let's get to it. We got some horns to blow. That sounds weird. This thing came with 0 instructions, so I'm really just winging it.
After a little bit of struggling, okay, a lot of struggling, I got it connected, but is it really 600% louder than stock? Let's find out.
Okay, I honestly have no idea how loud this thing is gonna be, so I came out to this wide open field, but let's give it a test, shall we? It should be wired to the horn button if everything went properly, but who's to say? Okay, 3, 2, 1. What is that? What in the world? What is that? There's a 50% chance that it's because I bought the $20 horn instead of the $100 horn, but the other 50% is I probably just wired it wrong. But all the wires are connected, and ChatGPT said this is how you connect it, so don't blame me. Oh, I think it's wired incorrectly, because now my dash is off. I think I did an oopsie. Let me go home before I ruin this thing. Okay, now that I've at least made it back, let me see if I just cooked my electronics. I totally might have. No, we're good. Just the dash is... I'll figure that out later.
The very next day, I found my issue. It turns out that I blew a fuse. I'm not really sure if it was a problem with my wiring or if this train horn simply has too much aura for this bike, but either way, I've earned myself a trip to AutoZone. Train horn, scam, but probably my fault. Moto mittens. They're not actually called that. I just thought it sounded more fun. Product claim, keeps all of the wind off of your hands.
These little straitjacket mittens are probably one of the weirder items on this list because in theory, it's a pretty good idea. Little mittens that go over your handlebars to keep your hands warm while you're riding in the winter. But in practice, there is no way that this could be safe because what happens when you need to take your hands off the handlebars? Keep in mind, the handlebars are in the mitten with you, and that doesn't seem very smart. That being said, let's go try them out.
Something I was just thinking about as I'm getting ready to try these things out is whether or not you wear actual motorcycle gloves underneath the mitten. I'm not too sure because this really isn't protective at all, but I'm just going to try it, just the mittens to start with, and see how it feels. I think the way you're supposed to do it is put the handlebar through this hole here and then somehow manage to put the brake lever through this hole, but I don't know if you're seeing what I'm seeing. That is like a me and Shaquille O'Neal relationship going on here. It's just not going to work out, but we'll do our best. So the handlebar goes through here like that. And then the brake lever just, oh, it worked. Okay, so that goes on there, and then there's like a safety clip. We'll figure out what to do with that in a moment.
My biggest concern is whether or not it'll restrict my ability to use the throttle and levers. So I headed to an open road where I could test that out.
Something about this just feels really, really wrong. I don't feel like I should be stuck to my bike the way I am. Maybe on a cruiser bike or something, but even then it doesn't really work that well. Like I still feel air coming in. I guess it blocks some of it from the front, but I still feel it like around that handlebar hole. There's some wind getting in through there. And on top of that, I look like the Muffin Man with my mittens on while I'm riding my motorcycle. But in terms of functionality, I can access all the controls I need to access. I don't feel like I'm restricted as much as I thought I would be. Okay, these are ridiculous. I'm done. I'm taking these off.
Moto mittens, fun word, but definitely gonna be a scam. Dragon's breath, ridiculous claim, makes your exhaust shoot pink flames.
Of all of the products that I ordered for this video, this one is probably the one that I'm the most excited for. It's called Dragon's Breath, and apparently it's supposed to make your bike shoot colored flames. And that is sick. So I opted for the pink version. I know the box is green, but believe me, sometimes the carpet doesn't match the drapes. And when I ordered this thing, I thought that it actually makes your bike shoot flames. It turns out it doesn't. Your bike has to already be shooting flames. But luckily, my brother's motorcycle does. So I'm gonna go steal his ZX6R for a little bit and see if we can shoot some pink flames with this thing. This is the motorcycle that we're gonna be using to shoot some pink flames. I have my flame cam set up ready to go, and apparently, according to the box, the only thing we need to do is use some of this paste and put it on the inside of this exhaust tip, and from there, we should have some pink flames. Let's see if it works. Okay, I don't know how much I need, but I'm just gonna put a little bit to start, and then we'll just put it through the inside like that, and I think that should work. We got a dual tip exhaust, so we gotta do both. Boom. Okay, there we go. Let's go shoot some flames.
At first, the flames were super inconsistent. Sometimes we would see blue flames, and then randomly the bike would just shoot a pink one. I'm no scientist, but that makes zero sense to me. Eventually, we concluded with the hypothesis that maybe we didn't apply enough of the paste. So we headed back and added a bit more.
According to the box, it says if it's not working, you should put it deeper in the exhaust pipe. So I'm gonna like just stuff it way in there and see if that makes any difference, because it was just blue before. Okay, that should be good. Oh, it does smell bad. Whew. All right, let's try this again.
I fear my marketing degree didn't help with this one because this was a huge mistake. The bike was now smoking like crazy, but at least we were seeing slightly more pink in the flames.
Oh yeah! It's pink!
We rode around a bit longer to get the bike hotter, but we were still getting the occasional blue flame. I don't know why. In this video, I tested a bunch of ridiculous motorcycle product claims to see if any of them are actually worth buying. Moral of the story, popular products are popular for a reason. If there's something you haven't heard of, that's probably for the best.